Newsline. I'm Roger Pada with the news from Tokyo. We start with breaking news out of the United States. President Joe Biden has announced American forces have successfully taken off the battlefield the leader of the Islamic State militant group. The statement says the counter-terrorism operation took place in northwestern Syria. It adds, thanks to the skill and bravery of our armed forces, we have taken off the battlefield.
Hockey community here is like such small. Like we know everyone.
These are competitive players, but this is not professional hockey. Their goal is just to play games and make connections. The Canadian captain is an American who came to Tokyo 16 years ago. The connections made through hockey have helped make it his home.
I think the team has a different meaning for each member. For me personally, when I came to Japan, I didn't know anyone, didn't have any friends, any family. The team became my family here in Japan.
At the start, the club was focused on traveling outside Japan and charity work. In Thailand, they played a lot of hockey, but they also sponsored an orphanage and supported kids, including one girl who they helped for years as she went to school.
Part of it is coming to overseas leagues to try and countries like Thailand is set up where we can actually make more of an impact, not just hockey.
These days, the team has 40 players who get on the ice as often as they can. Organizing hockey in Tokyo isn't easy. There are only about 5 or 6 rinks in the entire city. House time is very expensive, and it's hard to find players who have the skill to keep up. But there is homegrown talent. Many of the players are Japanese who moved overseas and played high-level hockey, like Shu Hayakawa. When he moved back from Toronto, he didn't want to hang up his skates.
To find a way to play hockey in Japan since they came back and to bring a great atmosphere to be here because everyone shares the same hobby.
Satoshi Kumagai grew up playing hockey in northern Japan, where it's a bit more popular. And what do you love about hockey?
Just the speed and physical, like lots of contact. And fighting too.
Fighting and hitting are not a part of these games, but the team is in a different fight to find places to play. A number of rinks have shut in Tokyo. The rinks left are shared with other outsports like figure skating. They've held tournaments with other Japanese teams to help promote hockey, but they say without rinks, it's hard for it to grow.
I guess the best thing that could happen for Japan and for the hockey community is if there was a way to get more rinks to open and spread the game.
It's one of those sports that, once you get hooked on it, it's very hard to play other sports. And, I think, one day maybe we'll have more kids playing. I hope, yeah.
They're helping with that on a small scale. Some players have kids who were born in Tokyo and they're learning to play. One is now old enough to join their games. Another generation with big skates to fill. Chris Corday, NHK World, Funabashi.
The foreign ministers of Japan and South Korea have shared their concerns about North Korea's nuclear and missile development. They agreed to work closely towards a solution. Japanese Foreign Minister Hayashi Yoshimasa held talks over the phone Thursday with his South Korean counterpart Chung Woo-yeong. They spoke after a series of North Korean missile launches. They shared serious concerns about the North's nuclear and missile development, and they affirmed Japan and South Korea will work closely together and in a framework including the United States. The talks also came after Japan's government recommended to UNESCO that a group of primarily gold mines on Sado Island in the Sea of Japan be registered as a World Cultural Heritage Site. Chung launched a protest against the move, insisting Koreans were forced to work at the mines on the island in Niigata Prefecture during World War II. Hayashi said Japan cannot accept South Korea's claim, which he called regrettable, groundless, and based only on the country's own story. Hayashi said he intends to discuss the matter with the South Korean side calmly and politely to have the mines registered as a World Cultural Heritage Site. Several of Afghanistan's public universities have reopened to female students for the first time. Taliban took power last August. The move comes after international calls to ensure all women in the country can receive an equal education. The Taliban-run Education Ministry said it reopened 8 public universities on Wednesday, including one in the eastern province of Nangarhar. Taliban fighters looked on as female students headed to classrooms in the black robes demanded by the Education Ministry. Male and female students attended class separately in line with the Taliban's gender segregation requirements. Officials say the remaining universities will reopen to both men and women on February 26th. Secondary schools remain closed to girls. The Taliban had earlier said they would create a better environment for female education within the framework of a women's teaching. Next in weather, severe winter weather is tightening its grip across much of the United States. Our meteorologist Pat Gabori explains the situation in our world weather report.
Hello there. A long winter storm is troubling many parts of North America, from Mexico through the United States, all the way up into Canada. And there are many warnings in place in the United States at this moment. For example, there are winter storm warnings, ice storm warnings, high wind warnings, and also winter warnings in place for parts of the southern and eastern United States. Some snow has already piled up in Chicago, about 30 centimeters of snow in 24 hours. Taking at the studio from the city. A mass of the winter storm caused heavy snow in Chicago on Wednesday. Many schools were closed, and children took advantage of the storm and enjoyed sledding in Chicago's Warren Park. More so possible for the eastern and southern areas of the United States and to the next couple of days. And there's a possibility of nearly 5 millimeters of ice accumulation even in the city of Houston. Be careful of treacherous border conditions. Temperatures are going to be below normal, of course. Chicago -4 degrees and -7 in Toronto on your Friday. So on the warmer side in the U.S. capital, but it's going to be cooler going into the weekend. Slightly warm in Los Angeles with sunny weather. We have been talking about this cyclone called Bachan. It's a return tropical cyclone. It has dumped more than 700 millimeters of rainfall over the Union, and more rain is expected. In fact, the center is expected to move over Madagascar from Saturday into Sunday. This area is still dealing with the recovery efforts from tropical cyclone Anna. Additional rain is definitely not good news. A heavy snow band is developing over the Sea of Japan. It's called Japan Sea Polar Air Mass Convergence Zone. So, and it's at 1.6 meters of snow is forecast into the weekend. That's what you have
That's all for now on this edition of NHK News. I'm Roger Prada in Tokyo. We'll be back with the latest at the top of the hour, so please.
Hello. Today we'll rebroadcast Journeys in Japan. In this program, we visit Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan's production center for green tea. It was originally aired on July 16, 2020. Please enjoy the program.
This is Journeys in Japan, our program for visiting and discovering new attractions in every part of Japan. Today's program takes us to Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan's #1 production center for green tea. Amanda Jacobs, an actress from the United States, visited the tea plantations early in May
at the start of the harvest season. Thank you for joining us.
I've just arrived in beautiful Shizuoka Prefecture. Shizuoka is actually famous for its green tea cultivation. As you can see behind me, these fields are full of green tea, ready to be picked.
It's early May. The tea is ready to be harvested, and mechanical pickers already busy in the fields here and there. The countless orderly rows of beautiful green tea plants spread in the fields like a fresh green carpet, with their baby leaves sprouting, all are grown to about waist height. We have come to the Makinohara Plateau of central Shizuoka, about 170 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. The tea fields here cover an area of about 5,000 hectares, the equivalent of roughly 7,000 football pitches. This is the largest green tea plantation in Japan, producing about 40% of the total in Shizuoka.
こんにちは。お疲れ様でした。はじめまして。
はじめまして。
かわいいね。
Suzuki Kikuji is one of the tea growers now harvesting the crop. He shows Ananda a little green stick. Suzuki advances down the rows on his mechanical harvester and plucks off the fresh stem, bearing with 4 or 5 leaves at a time. Ananda feels the freshly cut leaves and is surprised by how soft they are. The first harvest is in May. There are 2 to 3 further harvests each year. In Japan, the first place picked in each harvest season is known as Ichibansha, literally the first or number 1 tea. Ichibansha is very savory and regarded as very good green tea. Here is Suzuki.
お茶が竹がお茶になるっていうの方がここにおいしさがかなり入ってる。一番じゃあ
Tea isn't only the leaves. Tea is made from the stems as well. The stems contain a lot of the flavor. Ichibansha comes from the first bud. The most delicious with the richest flavor and flavor.
この大きい扇風機って何ですか? Ananda has noticed a number of posts in the fields as small as telegraph poles. Each one has a large fan mounted on top. What are they for?
これね、お茶にね、霜が降りないようにね、大体
They prevent the frost from settling on the tea by sending down the warmer air from 7 or 8 meters above the ground.
Frost in early spring can kill the young trees. The tea growers use these big fans to prevent the frost from settling by circulating the air. Suzuki continues.
子供の成長と同じような感じで、木をかけたり。
Growing tea is like raising children. It is a constant job. You have to nurture continually with unceasing care.
Makinohara used to be a wasteland. Then, 150 years ago,
Today, the number 1 tea growing area in Japan.
Once again, 11.9
green tea. And once again, feel free to leave your comments and suggestions by mail,